Hello, I'm Angi Cooney, host of the podcast Now What, where we explore the ins and outs and intricacies of people's lives and find out about their now what moments. Today I am delighted to introduce you to somebody who had an absolute now what moment in my life. He's the one and only Christopher Watkins, who introduced me to the Angi Cooney who you see now. So without further ado, let's explore Chris Watkins' Now What. So, Chris Watkins, I do feel, you're going to have to indulge me now, I do feel as though I'm talking to Obi-Wan Kenobi and I am Luke Skywalker.
Well, that's a great analogy because in life, we often portray ourselves in our marketing as the hero, when in reality, the hero is our client, and we shouldn't be Luke Skywalker. We should actually be Obi-Wan Kenobi.
But you are Obi-Wan Kenobi to me.
And that. There's no better accolade in helping another human being be a better version of themselves. You often leave a trail of destruction behind you in your own life. I found this is that those that are really good at helping others often have are we allowed to swear on this podcast?
You are absolutely.
often have issues themselves. In that you can be really good at one aspect of your life and really poor at other aspects.
But for the purposes of people who have no fucking clue you are, because there may be somebody out there who hasn't got a clue, I would actually just like to clarify why you are my Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Go on.
Because as you know, when I was at estate agent in Staffordshire all those years ago and suddenly got interested in your podcast with the totally brilliant PVS Media and started to follow you both, and then I came along and met you and you gave me the wings, and I say that and it sounds so corny, but you gave me the wings to fly, and I feel as though I accomplished that.
You did the work though.
But what I'd like to do is give you the accolade that I personally wanted, and there's a thank you really, and I was so desperate and nervous to get you on the podcast. So I am delighted that you are one of my first guests. So let's talk about, everybody thinks they know Chris Watkins and everybody's got a different opinion. You're very divisive, aren't you? And I've wrote myself a little note about little things about you because people are saying straight talking, creative, divisive character, Grantham, a big woo for Grantham. Now, how would you describe yourself?
A boring, overweight 54-year-old from Grantham who loves the state agency, more importantly, loves his wife, loves talking to people, loves making a difference, just getting on with life and being part of an industry I love to bits.
Nigel Risner, which is great, Nigel Risner said to me about why I wanted to do this, and I said to make a difference, and he went, you want to be the difference, and I actually think you are the difference.
That's very kind of you to say, thank you. I mean, yes, I'm known for being on the other side of...
Yeah.
And I do that, I do that, and I've only realised this in the last few years, because I've been doing it now for about... 8 years.
Yeah.
Just under 3,000 interviews of about 700 people. And I do it for my own mental health, very selfishly.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'm going to go into that, and I do want to explore that. But let's just put a pause, go back, talk to me about where... I want to know, go back, and then to where you are now, if that's okay.
Yeah,
there will be now what moments, and that's what I want to talk about.
Okay, so what was the... What?
So let's go back to the beginning.
What, when I was born?
Not when you were born, unless you can remember it.
Nope.
No. So let's talk about your first now what moment.
My first what now moment.
Or even now what moment?
When you say that, what are you talking about?
So a pivotal time in your life when you thought, geez, something's got to change.
You see, that's a difficult one because my attitude in life is that life happens to you and then you just deal with what's in front of you and making a decision.
Which I think is great, and it's exactly what I thought you would say.
Because the wife is completely different. She's a chess player in her head. What if this? What if this? What if this? What is this? And I just kind of, right, well, this is what's in front of me. Let's deal with this.
Okay, so if I was Nigel Risner, I'd be sitting there and saying, your wife is an elephant.
Yes.
And you are a lion.
Right.
Okay, but we're not. We're talking about you.
Yes.
So let's go back to how you were an agent. How did you get into property? Which sounds really boring, but I'm going to ask you.
Like most people, I fell into it. It was 1986, 1987. I was at secondary school at the end of 5th year. I don't know what's that? I don't know what that's.
I have no idea, Chris.
I think that's year.
I remember 5th year. You were 16.
Is that year 11 when you do your GCSEs? Well, just ask the guys behind
Not
the
a
cameras.
clue.
It's year 11 in new money.
Yeah.
5th year in old money. And I was in the RAF cadets and I thought I might go to the RAF, and then I went on work experience to surveyors. It was 1987 because the market was just about to go explode a few months later. And I thought to myself, I'm going around people's houses and I'm having cups of tea. This is great. I'm going to do that. So I went to Sheffield Poly, which is now Sheffield Hallam Uni, and did a course in surveying because that is my profession.
Yeah.
I'm a surveyor by trade.
And when's the last house you surveyed?
Well, I didn't actually go into surveying because when I came out in 92 from uni, there was no jobs. 92, 93, I can remember one of those years. And it was 93. And you know, I've come from a family who work. You were expected to work, so I thought, well, I'll go and apply for some jobs as an estate agent until I can get a job as a surveyor. And I'm still waiting to have a job as a surveyor.
Okay.
So never actually did.
So you went into agency. Was it Belvoir?
No, at the time that was Halifax Property Services.
Okay.
Yeah.
So successful?
Yeah, I mean, I did. I started off trainee valuer, and then went. Was valuing for about 6, 7, 8 years. And then a local surveying firm asked me to come and join their estate agency and they would give me my qualifications. So I went over, but then this was 2000, 2001. And then, I don't know if you recall, but we had foot and mouth disease in 2001, 2002.
Certainly do.
And they ran the cattle market, so they had to make redundancies and cut pay. And I thought, well, I just can't be doing with that because I was on really a low wage at the time, probably, 12, 13
I was
grand
going to
a
say
year.
12 grand.
Yep. So I went back to the Halifax and again, still valuing. I was a bloody good valuer. I used my people skills and my classic D profile on the disc profile, which is, again, Nigel Risner's Lions. And then I got made redundant.
So here's a now what moment.
Yeah, it was actually, because that was the first time I cried in front of someone that I wasn't family.
Yeah, it's a biggie.
Yeah, because, and to this day, the person that told me to make these people redundant, who then sent someone in to make me redundant, I'm friends with him. I'm friends with him because that's the way it does.
Yeah.
But I made 6 people redundant, and then he sent someone in at lunchtime and then made me redundant. I had a big branch, Halifax in Nottingham city centre, and he made me redundant.
See, I think that's a massive...
Again, now you say, yes, of course it is. Because, and again, Tom Panos says this, is that sometimes the best presents in this world come worse wrapped. And I had a wonderful boss in the late 90s, a lady called Carol Longdon, who, because the people who have been important to me in my life, who have shaped me to the person I am, have all been women.
Okay.
Originally my mother, and then Carol Longdon was kind of looked after me for 5-6 years, and now subsequently my wife. Is that, I don't like right-move pie charts and anyone basically, I call it's bragging. I just don't like bragging. And the reason I don't like bragging is that my mother and then Carol and Joanne knows damn well that there is a demon inside my head that can be a cocky prat.
Yeah.
Like, and obnoxious, and all of them have nicely beat it out of me.
You say, because that's just...
Because there's a huge difference between confidence and cockiness, and they are on the same line.
Yeah.
What Joanne, senior management, as she's known with all my clients, is that she knows when I'm being confident and she knows when I'm being cocky, and she only has to say a line, and that's why
So is it Mr. Cocky who was crying when the Halifax made you?
ego was there.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, pride.
Yeah.
I was Chris Watkin. I ran one of the biggest estate agency branches for the Halifax before I ran one of the biggest bank agencies. Turning over shed loads of money. How dare they make me redundant?
Yeah.
One of the best things that's ever happened to me in my
Can I
life.
ask you a mad question where you probably go, have you ever been, so at that moment in time, when they did that, and take you back to that moment, has there ever been anything going forward that's ever made you feel that low since? In that way?
Yes. When I was, when I left Belvoir.
Really?
Yep, I was a square peg in a round hole.
Okay.
So I decided to walk. We had some issues, and I said, if you could play that game, I'm going to go. I'm going this afternoon.
But that was your choice, though. That's not...
It's kind of forced into... The funny thing is, though, I'm now really good mates with the boss that made that decision.
Yeah.
Wasn't at the time.
But I think that unless you've experienced the gut-wrenching, and I don't mean you, and I'm not saying it about you, because I've been similar, that you sit there and you think, they think I'm worthless, and I feel absolutely worthless, beyond worthless. It's a hero to zero, isn't it?
Very much so. And that's and again, you can't teach someone that. You have to. You can't. You can eulogise to the cows come home, but unless you've experienced it, but that's just part of being a human being and learning and bettering yourself.
But I think when it happened to me, and it's probably the same with you, and I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, it actually makes you a different person.
Makes you a better person.
Massively, and it gives you compassion that you knew was there, but the cockiness has been the corners off the cockiness.
Again, there's a very fine line between confidence and cockiness, and it all comes down to intent.
Yeah.
If someone pays me a compliment, I'll say thank you and change the subject.
I know you will.
Because otherwise, that monster inside me, which is really deeply, really down there, I've seen it, rise up. So I deal with it straight away.
But then I think that because of the sort of person I am, I have to say it, because I'm only inviting people on my podcast that I really like.
And that's why you're doing this podcast. I do the podcast for my own, as I said, mental health, because I like to talk to interesting people. Because we're all working hard. My daytime job is very data driven. I'm one of these weird people that I'm as you say, a lion. A lion wouldn't normally do detail.
No.
So I almost got not two personalities. I go into, I've got to write a piece of content about how mortgages have affected the property market and work out lots of calculations and big spreadsheets. but which is a happy place, but I don't like to stay there. And then talking to the people,
Yeah.
you know, without hesitation, I've come down here. It's taken me 3 hours to get here, door to door.
Yeah.
Without hesitation, I'm here. But I'm here for you because I like you and you like me.
Yeah.
If some random rang me up and said, would you come to a podcast? No, I probably wouldn't. And that's a big tip for anyone that is going to go down the podcast route, is get to know people first, because then they will travel.
Yeah. Thank you very much. So, pause, go backwards. Yeah?
Yeah.
So we're now gone. Now what moment of Belvoir?
Yes.
So you've walked out of Belvoir, square peg, round hole.
Yep.
Then what?
I'd been fancying, because the idea of writing about local property markets is something that I'd been doing with Belvoir with a number of Belvoir franchises. I think the thing that actually secured me actually leaving Belvoir was telling the PLC board that the person, and he has passed away now, God rest his soul, wasn't doing a particularly good job at helping the franchisees grow.
Yeah.
And they'd given me 4 offices to play with just to keep me quiet a few years before.
Yeah.
And we were getting fantastic organic growth by writing about the local property market. And yeah, I produced this long report, 8 pages. I assumed that they'd read it because I have to send it 2 weeks in before. None of them had received it. So there was me expecting them to have already read this report, and they were reading it as I was walking in.
Oh, okay.
I didn't spot that. I only found out afterwards, and that's what got me that I left.
Got your goat.
Yeah, but you know, it's just life, isn't it?
So okay, brush over that one. So you've in your life then. So you've just made a comment that you do your podcast. You went into this for your mental health.
No,
So
didn't go into it for that.
okay.
It's only I've realised.
My
since
apologies. Okay.
Why I do it.
So go back then. So you've
Yes.
left Belvoir.
Yep.
You've sat there with Joanne.
Yeah, who'd already just 6 months later had handed the notice in with the council with a very nice pension to start her own business.
Shit. Okay. And what was she going to do?
At the time, she basically, and she still does this, we don't shout about it too much, but if you want to target a letting agency, we can find you the contact details of the landlords that work with that agency.
So,
Legally.
Okay. Yeah, of course. So that's so Joanne's obviously trying to pick you up off the floor,
Yes.
literally.
I bounced back really quickly. I really did.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then how did you?
Because you know the art, I think, is this: you've just got to get it all out, and if that takes a day or so, it takes a day or so. Then you bounce back. You know, after the thing with the Halifax,
You couldn't get that much lower, could you? That's how I viewed that.
Yeah, okay, but I'm a massive fan of the book Men Are From Mars, Women From Venus, and it's an amazing book. And you know, sometimes you just got to hit rock bottom. And when I hit rock bottom, as long as you hit rock bottom, I bounce back straight away.
Yeah.
But you've got to hit rock bottom. You can't hold it back. So, you know, I came home and said, right, I've handed my notice in. Look, you know, what are you doing now? I'm handing my notice in. What are you going to do now? Well, I've been talking about it. You know, there's how many estate agents out there are saying, I want to be a self-employed estate agent, and they kind of, they need that nudge to actually do it. This was kind of, right, okay, come on then. Let's get on with it.
Great.
Let's get on with it. And we did. And you know, and the rest is history.
And never look back.
Yeah.
So you've gone from your hero to zero.
Yeah.
And where would you put yourself now?
If can I share a story? Can I share a story?
Share whatever you want. It's your.
I share a story of why I started the interviews.
Go on then.
It was the 23rd of December, 2016.
Yeah.
And I pride myself in saying that I will only work for one agent per town.
Yeah.
A very large chain of estate agents approached me with around 100 branches, and 8 or 9 of them, there was crossover with some of my other branches.
Okay.
And I thought, this is where the cockiness came in, I thought I could get away with it because this was a huge contract. This was for 2 days' work. This was thousands and thousands, and we're not talking a couple of thousand. This was big money.
Yeah.
And I thought I could get away with it. So I said, we'll try it for 3 months. And it was 2 days' work for many thousands of work.
Yeah.
Okay. But then that little voice in my head was eating, you know, that the caring Chris Watkins, not the
Because you
cooking.
knew you
I was
were...
doing it wrong. I was doing
Yeah.
it wrong.
Yeah.
Because I bang on constantly saying I'm not being paid for this, I'm not taking anything or anything like that. Again, that comes from the fact is that I had my fingers burnt in 2016
Okay.
because I did the dirty. Because in 8 of my clients, I was writing a different article. And what happened was there was one of my clients rang me up. Thank God I'd already with the 3 months had come to an end, and I'd already said, look, I just don't feel comfortable doing this. I'm stopping this because I just don't feel right. And one of my clients rang me up and said, are you working for someone else? Shit. Now, apologised profusely. I said I'd already cancelled, but that's not the point. I apologised profusely. Again, she's a very good friend of mine, and we actually go on holiday to her house. And it was over Bywater.
Okay.
And she gave me an absolute bollocking, and rightly deserved. I then picked up the phone to my other clients. They hadn't seen this content, but all of them, I thought, we're going to lose 8 clients now. And one thing, again, in business, and again, a lot of, being in business is no different to just being a human being, is none of them had seen them, and all of them accepted my apology, and nothing, never been said since. Never held it against me, all still with me. And to this day.
So what made you do it?
Do what?
What made you...
The cocky Watkin.
Okay.
What made me do it in the first place?
Made you think, yeah, do it in the first place?
Because there was 2 days' work for 5 or 6 grand.
Because there'll be plenty of people.
Because I was, I'm Chris Watkin,
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I do.
Because it's still there.
Yeah.
It is still there.
Because there's going to be plenty of people that they won't be doing what you're doing, but they'll be there in their lives somewhere, listening to this, driving the cars, whatever, in the gym, thinking and doing something that they know
It's wrong.
Isn't right. So what would you say to this is quite a biggie really. So knowing what you know now,
Yes.
what would the outcome be? What would you do differently? If anything, would you do it differently?
Well, I wouldn't have taken it on in the first place.
There you go. So that was a now what moment.
It was, but again, I'm just a forward thinking, right, what's in front of me, we'll deal with it.
I get that.
Okay, I don't dwell on the past. I'm aware of the past and the lessons it's taught me.
And that's why you and I get on. Because my view is I can't change it.
Can't change
if I've said it, I've said it. I can't change it. I can apologise or I can do whatever,
Yep.
but it still won't negate the fact that I've done it in the first place. But there are now what moments in that.
Yeah.
So that lesson of your now what presumably taught you to just be truthful to yourself.
Yeah. Too right.
Interesting. Okay. So you've then got... And I love Zoe, by the way. It's a pity she's come out of it, I think, but...
Yeah, I mean, we go up on holiday, we stop over, and husband Nigel and the Dexter and the dogs and all the other dogs just love them to bits.
She's lovely. She's a lovely person.
She's a straight-talking lady.
She is. So big shout out to you, Zoe. Hopefully you're watching. So, OK, we've got that bit.
Yep.
Then what? So then where are we now in your life and... I'm very lucky to have over 100 clients that pay me a decent amount of money, nothing silly. For my existing clients, I haven't put my prices up in 8 years. Don't need to. I have a really lovely life. What's the point? So what's next then?
Just getting on with it, just enjoying each day as it comes.
So what's made you go to that point though? What has gone in your life that makes you this person here now, that can sit there and go, I've always been like that?
Probably have. I don't know. I don't. You know, it's the old nature and nurture thing, isn't it? You know, as I was brought up as a child, my father didn't see much of my father because they were running the family business. My mum worked in the business. They took us on holiday. They looked after us. My father taught me hard work pays.
Yeah.
You know, my mother is not overly. You know, her it's tough love, but it's love. It's tough love though.
It's northern love, as I call it.
Okay.
It's northern love.
Okay. And then, as I said, and then I went to university, and then my wife Joanne came into my life because she was a secretary when I was on my year out with my surveying. We got together very quickly after I came back from university. We got married within a couple of years, and you know, just take each day as it comes. I mean, she's the complete opposite to me. She's the worrier, and you know, I've had my. This is, you know, very early this morning, I had a text message to say that my bowel cancer results come back, because everyone gets the poo test, don't they? When you're in your mid-50s, if you're not, you will get it. You try doing that anyway. That's beside. And you know, she's been worrying about it. I'd forgotten I'd had it.
Yeah.
And then the text came through, and I forgot to tell her for a few hours.
That presumably all clear.
Yes. Yeah, so you looked at it. Oh, yeah,
Oh,
that's
I
good.
thought you were going to tell me something else. I was going to drop down on the floor.
No. I looked at it. Oh, that's good. Move on.
You're so practical about everything, aren't you? What is it that gets you go, come on now?
People who brag.
Really? Is that because you're them?
That's because of the monster that's inside me.
Do you see, oh, well, I'm going to ask you this and I know the answer. Do you see many of them?
What, in a estate agency? Bloody hell.
You and I, though, have sat and talked about, you know, can we just talk about, it isn't about now what moments, it's just me and you chatting.
Don't worry, no one watches this. It's
I
just
sit
me.
and watch your bloody podcast, and I've rang you up if I think they're as dull as ditch water.
Yes.
And tell you off because I think they're crap, and I can see you've gone bored.
Yeah, no.
So how long are you going to carry on doing them, doing your interviews? What do you think's next then for you?
Just keep doing it.
Until you don't want to do it anymore.
Well, I enjoy doing it. I enjoy talking to people. The topics are irrelevant. Do I get some absolute stinkers on it? Of course I bloody do. Do I get some absolute gems? Brilliant. And
let me interrupt you. Do you remember, and I was showing the guys here earlier on about the esters when I was drunk as
yes.
a boot. Oh, my life.
I mean, again, I don't know when this is coming out, but the esters, I don't get paid to go.
No.
Okay. I have to pay for the film crew to go. So why do I do it? I do it because it's bloody good fun. I have a microphone, everyone's had a few beers, and I put a microphone in. So, how does it feel to be a winner? Fantastic. There you go. And I do it because then I'm part of the event. I enjoy it. I produce content which is of interest to my audience, and it's damn good fun. Whilst everyone else has paid nearly 400 quid to sit at a table and have a thimble full of meat or something, I go, I have a film crew, we have a laugh and a joke, and then we bugger off to the burger place and have a few beers. I mean, that doesn't get better than that, does it?
It doesn't.
No.
So I can't help noticing your pin badge to do with the Freemasons. So for the uninitiated amongst us, would you like to explain the myths, the facts? What's Freemasons about?
It's a boys' club.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to be in the Round Table, which again is a boys' club, but then you leave because of age, and you have different options. You go to Rotary. I chose Freemasonry, and it's an organisation full of myths. You know, funny handshakes and rolled up trouser legs and exposing of breasts, and that's all true actually.
Yeah.
The very first meeting you go to, you have to roll up your trouser to show that you are not a slave. Hence, because of being shekel. Is there a handshake? Yes, there is. And would you like to know why there's a funny handshake?
I absolutely would like to know. Yeah.
Well, if you roll the clock back thousands of years, there was people building stone buildings all over the Middle East.
Yeah.
Right? And it took 7 years to become a qualified stonemason. And you spent 3 or 4 years with your master, and then you had to go out and go and work on other different sites and learn the advanced techniques from others. And then you would come back at the end of your 7th year, back to your original master, to prove him that you'd learnt lots by doing an apprentice piece. So if you've ever been to that that church, Rosalind Chapel, in Scotland, in the south of Edinburgh, there's what's called the apprentice pillar, and again, they used to have to prove how proficient you were. So you'd learn how to be a stonemason for 3 or 4 years, and the stonemasons would come together in a room called a lodge, and after you'd been there 3 years, I said you had to go and learn from others. So how could you prove what level of stonemason you were? Because you didn't have paperwork thousands of years ago, from a handshake and a password. Hence, and we are very, you can find out on Google in seconds what the handshake and password is, but we're not allowed to give it away. Reason? Because it's almost like a chip and pin cash. It's like a yeah. Because if someone could just walk in on the street and say, yeah, I've been a, you would get bed and lodgings and wages. So if you give the handshake away.
But it is about helping.
Well, let's get the myths out. That's the myths.
Oh, okay, yeah, go on.
Right, what is it all about? Being a Freemason is bettering yourself.
Yeah.
Looking after your mates without breaking the law. Looking after your mates' wife and family if they die. And looking after the community.
Okay.
Right? So therefore, our big thing in Freemasonry is charity. So in our county, the province of Lincolnshire, we've raised £3 million in 5 years.
Wow.
And then what we will then do is each year take 300 grand out of that pot, and 100,000 of that will go to Lincolnshire charities, and 200,000 will go back to Lincolnshire Freemasons in need.
Wow.
Because it's not just posh people, we have everyone. Everyone's equal in that room.
I didn't know it was posh people. Is that what the myth is?
That is that by all accounts we're supposed to run the world. Trust me, we couldn't even run a tombola most of the time.
I don't know. You raised £3 million, which is pretty impressive.
Yes, it was. It was very impressive.
So do you think that's how long you've been a Freemason?
7 years.
So has that shaped you as a person?
It's helped me. It's focused my mind, because all we do when we go into our room and close the door is one of 3 plays, which we have to do from memory.
Yeah.
And each person has a different role each time. And it's all about coming into this world. That's the play 1. Play 2 is bettering yourself, and play 3 is preparing yourself.
So why has somebody decided that's what was going to happen all those years ago?
Because thousands of years ago, if you wanted to be a stonemason, it wasn't all about showing you how to be a good stonemason. It was about preparing you to be a better human being.
Okay.
So it's like like you have guilds of plumbers. Yeah, we're a guild. They were guilds of stonemasons, but it wasn't all about stonemasonry. It was about being a better human being and looking after each other. And what happened is in the 1600s, because everyone was building churches at the time, posh people in the 1600s looked at these these groups of stonemasons and said, we don't do stonework, but could we join your organisation because we like your attitude of bettering yourself, looking after each other and charity. So we use the analogy of buildings, like the symbols themselves. There's many symbols, but the 2 main ones are a set square and a compass.
Yeah.
So it's compasses. So the set square is, all buildings are square, because if buildings were obtuse, you don't want to be obtuse as a person. You want to be straight down the line. You want to be on the level. You want to be upright. So we have plumb rules, which, that every building is upright. So you as a human being should be upright. The compasses are, you stay within your bounds. You don't overstep the mark as a human being. You don't go over the top.
So what made you join them?
I was getting drunk one day. in a pub with my mate whose father's a Freemason, and we just, sod it, let's join.
Really? Is that it? I thought it was going to be a bit of a now what moment there.
None whatsoever.
So it obviously makes you feel like you belong somewhere, though.
It is a belonging,
because
yes.
it's about belonging and being part of a community or a family, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It is.
And so you said that helps you.
Yes.
Helps you be a better human being.
When those, so I'm in a quite a senior position in my lodge at the moment, and we're filming this, and in a week's time, a week tonight, I am sitting in one of the important chairs, and I have to learn lines for that particular ceremony.
Yeah.
And you have to learn it from memory. And that is really, for the first few years, it took me totally out of my comfort zone. I didn't enjoy it. Then the moment clicked is you can stand, it was, I've got no issue standing in front of hundreds of people with that script and talking.
No.
Okay, but that really, then I was bricking myself because I was missing words, and then all of a sudden I said, hold on a second, it's not about the words, it's about the sentiment behind the words, the feeling. And then my fear went, and I love it to bits, and I learn my words, and I will do the play that hasn't changed in hundreds of years, and I will continue to do it.
So it's a family and it's belonging.
It's my brother, we call ourselves brothers.
And do you feel like that?
It is a brotherhood.
Okay.
Love it to bits. I'm a firm believer in men's mental health is you do need the company of other men. Now, that's why people like joining the army or the rugby clubs. We don't get, we have a couple of beers, but it's not silly stuff. We don't get drunk. Well, a bit merry afterwards because we go down for a meal. But yeah, it's just a brotherhood, just a bunch of blokes trying to do your best.
And navigate your way through.
And the plays themselves, which are a lot of them in Old English, you learn them by rote, but then when you've been doing it a long time, then you almost think, oh. So you don't just say the words, you feel the words.
So do you wish you'd have found something like that in your earlier years?
No, it was the right time to join. I was in Round Table, which is all fun and not, a bit of charity. This is more on you as a human being.
Right, okay.
And, and women can join their own women lodges, men join men lodges. You can't, there's no mixed sex.
So is that your escapism to help your mental health?
Yes. And the sofa chats.
Fab.
And throwing in Rightmove pie chart posts. because the vast majority of UK estate agents are so egotistical and up their own backsides that they see estate agency there to serve them, not us to serve the client.
It's very interesting because I did a podcast for Ben Madden and I talked about that very thing.
It's because you are comparing you said at the start of the show, Obi-Wan Kenobi, okay. As the agent, you are not the star. You are not Luke Skywalker. Our vendors and indirectly our buyers are our clients. Legally, our client is the vendor.
Yeah.
And we make them the hero. We're not the hero. And when you are doing a pie chart, you are doing it for two reasons. One is to massage your own ego, and the second one is to wind up your competition. In fact, one of my clients rang me up on the way at King's Cross saying, another agent has said that I need to, another agent has said, we've sold so many houses, but the patch is so big. And he says, I'm wondering if I should do it. And I said, well, it's not like you. It's, do you remember all the adverts you saw in the last day? Thousands of them. No.
Yeah.
I said, they've done it to wind you up. It's goaded you.
Yeah.
It's triggered you. Do you think anyone else has seen it? No. Will they remember it? No. Will they, Tony Ruby, as I know you know him well, instead I said, well, what should I post? I said, just tell stories. He had a post where he stood outside a house with a for sale board with his family, and he had the buyer's family there as well, and said, these are two families, plus the other families who are not here, who's basically, their lives have been changed because we sold this house. But he did it in a very nice way, not,
Fantastic.
200 likes all over social media in Grantham.
Yeah.
We've sold so many houses, fuck's sake. Okay, you're number one and you've got a pie chart smaller than a piece of cake at a posh restaurant. You know, that much. Okay, if you're going to impress me, okay, let's go 30 or 40%. There needs to be like a legal... When I'm president, if you want to publish a Rightmove pie chart, you can't publish it unless you have, say, over 35%. And even that, don't get me wrong, should you use pie charts when you're at the vow? Oh, yes, 100%. But all you're doing is you waving your willy around saying, look at me, I'm brilliant, I'm number one with 6% market share. Yeah, 94%.
So why does it get your goat so much?
Because it's come back, that monster inside me that I didn't like and I don't like, they're cocky, and it's made me a better human being by capturing it and putting it in its cage, and it does it comes out, but I've got the wonderful Joanne to make sure.
Yeah. And
I just see my old self in UK estate agents, and I want to, all of us, if we can make the industry better, we are not a liked profession. No wonder, because we just wear our egos on our sleeve, because it's all about us. And that's because most estate agents are lions, outward going people.
Yeah.
And that, you put 30 houses on the market and then you go and lose number 31 and it's like a dagger through the heart and you feel really shit about yourself. We are the only profession that brags about the job we get paid to do.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
You show me, but it's so important, it's so important that we talk about our... No, there's better ways to talk. I'm not anti talking about your success. I'm just, don't be lazy by publishing a pie chart that actually means sod all. But if you want to carry on like that, that's your call.
And that's why you're divisive, because the people who don't like you are the people who want to wave their willies.
Yeah.
They're the people who I've heard not like you, and I'm obviously on the different camp.
Hey, you can't please all the people all the time.
No.
Okay? And do I do it to... Sometimes I just do it for what's name and giggles.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
I just like, I publish 6 times a day on LinkedIn. And, I could post some really groundbreaking stuff about mental health or helping estate agents or giving them shed loads of free stuff on how to get more listings. You might get 1 or 2 likes. If I'm feeling a bit bored, I'll chuck in a Rightmove pie chart, anti-Rightmove pie chart. And again...
and they all are in uproar, aren't they?
It's like tramp on chips. They're all over it.
So do you sit there for the and giggles and go, idiots?
I can't say idiots because then I'm being like them, aren't I?
You are.
Okay. No, I pity them.
Okay, God, I don't know whether that's worse.
I don't know. If you genuinely believe you have to wave your willy around to attract people to you, then that's your call. I'm in a very lucky position in the industry where I have lots of followers and people listen to what I have to say. Whether you agree with me or not is no concern of mine.
No, because they've got a choice. They can turn it off.
Of course they can.
So if anybody who wants to contact you, for whatever reason, even just to wave that big willy,
just type in the word Christopher Watkin to LinkedIn or Facebook and they'll find me. Cool.
So you're happy to people to contact you, whether it's about Freemasons or...
Yeah, I mean,
anything.
I'm a big lad and I like my beer and I like my food. And one of the things I find is this: if I go for a morning walk, I'm better through the day. I'm exercising. So I'm now doing 2, because I always go for a walk with Mrs. in the afternoon, but I set myself up, I get up myself, and I offer my time. I offer 3/4 of an hour to an hour of my time between 7:30 and 8:30, where I go out for a walk and someone books it in and I will go for a walk because that makes me go for a walk. And a lot of people think it's a sales technique. It isn't, because I don't sell anything. Even if they ask me, so we'll have to do this on a separate call.
No, I know okay. You don't.
And I do it for very selfish reasons, because it makes me get up, makes me feel better about myself because I've gone for a walk. It makes me feel better for myself that I've helped another human being. So therefore, I'm not expecting anything in return. So I'm already in credit.
Yeah.
And I'm feeling really good about myself. But I didn't have one this morning because I obviously coming here. And yeah, you get I'm going to feel good about myself a bit now because I've, hopefully choosing content. I've not had that phone call this morning. I'm going to miss that. I miss it. So I'm giving without expecting anything back in return, and I feel good about myself. It's a win-win.
I think what I find, because obviously I've known you for quite a while now, you are so kind. You are really kind. You have your door open at whatever time of night. You may be busy, you'll always ring back. And that's not because I'm a client, because I'm definitely not a client now, but it's because you connect with people.
Yeah.
And I think that that's really that I want people to see, whether they want to or not, but I know that that door's open because you're a decent human being.
Blame my parents, blame my wife, made me who I am.
Christopher Watkins, thank you, babe.
Thank you.
That's better. All right, give us a kiss. Oh.
Thank you very much.
I just love you for being you, bless you.